Fellow gardeners, I know exactly what you're thinking right now. 3-week compost, no smell, no turning. It sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? I felt the same skepticism when I first heard about this method. After years of wrestling with traditional compost piles that smelled like a forgotten gym sock and required more maintenance than my tomato plants, I was ready to try something revolutionary. What I discovered changed everything about how I approach composting, and today I'm sharing this game-changing method that's transformed not just my garden, but my entire relationship with organic waste management. This isn't just another composting trick, it's a complete paradigm shift that works for everyone from apartment dwellers to homesteaders. The secret to eliminating compost odors lies in understanding what creates them in the first place. Those unpleasant smells we associate with traditional composting come from anaerobic decomposition, when organic matter breaks down without sufficient oxygen. This process creates hydrogen sulfide, ammonia, and other compounds that make your neighbors question your gardening sanity. The breakthrough method I'm about to share maintains perfect aerobic conditions without the back-breaking work of turning piles. By creating the right environment from the start, we eliminate the conditions that cause smell while accelerating the decomposition process beyond what most gardeners thought possible. The key principle is layered aeration combined with precise carbon to nitrogen ratios. When we get this balance right, beneficial microorganisms thrive, temperatures rise naturally, and decomposition happens so efficiently that there's simply no time for anaerobic conditions to develop. It's like creating a 5-star resort for decomposer organisms instead of forcing them to work in a stuffy basement. Let me be straight with you. This method requires specific materials but nothing exotic or expensive. After testing dozens of variations, I've identified the exact combination that delivers consistent results every single time. Your carbon sources need to be varied and sized correctly. Shredded cardboard, dried leaves, and aged wood chips form the backbone of this system. The cardboard provides structure and absorbs excess moisture, while the leaves offer quick decomposing carbon. Wood chips, contrary to popular belief, don't slow down composting when used properly. They create air pockets that maintain oxygen flow throughout the pile. For nitrogen sources, kitchen scraps work beautifully, but preparation matters enormously. Chopping fruit and vegetable waste into pieces smaller than 2 inches dramatically speeds decomposition. Coffee grounds, despite being brown, are actually nitrogen-rich and work wonderfully. Fresh grass clippings are nitrogen powerhouses, but they must be mixed immediately with carbon materials to prevent matting. The magic ingredient that most gardeners overlook is biochar or fine charcoal pieces. This addition creates permanent air spaces, absorbs odors, and provides surface area for beneficial microorganisms. Just 2 cups of biochar in a standard pile makes an incredible difference in both speed and odor control. Building your pile correctly determines everything that follows. This isn't about randomly throwing materials together and hoping for the best. Every layer serves a specific purpose in creating the perfect decomposition environment. Start with a base layer of coarse wood chips or small branches about 4 inches thick. This creates a natural drainage system and allows air to flow up through the entire pile. Many gardeners skip this step and wonder why their compost becomes a soggy, smelly mess. Your first active layer combines 3 parts shredded carbon materials with 1 part chopped nitrogen materials. Mix these thoroughly before placing them on your base. This isn't just about ratios, it's about creating intimate contact between carbon and nitrogen sources so microorganisms can work efficiently. Add a thin layer of finished compost or quality soil next. This inoculates your pile with the beneficial bacteria and fungi needed for rapid decomposition. If you don't have finished compost, a handful of soil from under established trees works perfectly. Repeat this layering process until your pile reaches about 3 feet high. Each layer should be thoroughly moistened but not soaked. Think of a wrung-out sponge. The pile should feel warm to the touch within 24 hours if you've built it correctly. Moisture management makes or breaks this method, and most gardeners get it wrong because they rely on guesswork instead of understanding the principles. Your pile needs consistent moisture throughout, not dry edges with a soggy center. The squeeze test is your best friend here. Just grab a handful of material from different sections of your pile and squeeze firmly. You should see 1 or 2 drops of water, no more. Too much water creates anaerobic conditions and odors, while too little water stops decomposition entirely. During construction, mist each layer lightly as you build. In dry climates, you might need to add water every few days for the first week. In humid areas, your pile might need covering during heavy rains. A simple tarp works perfectly, but make sure air can still circulate around the sides. The beautiful thing about this method is that once you establish proper moisture levels, the pile becomes largely self-regulating. The decomposition process generates its own heat, which drives moisture movement throughout the pile, creating remarkably consistent conditions without constant intervention. Understanding temperature patterns helps you know exactly when your compost will be ready without constantly poking around in it. A properly built pile reaches between 140 and 160 degrees Fahrenheit within about 3 days and maintains these temperatures for roughly a week. You don't need expensive thermometers, your hand works perfectly fine. Just hold it about 6 inches above the pile. If you feel strong heat radiating upward, your pile is in the active phase. When this heat diminishes after about 10 days, decomposition is transitioning to the finishing phase. The timing is remarkably consistent when you follow this method precisely. Week 1 brings rapid heating and initial breakdown. Week 2 shows continued activity with gradually decreasing temperatures. By week 3 you have finished compost that's ready to use. This predictable timeline happens because we've created optimal conditions from the start. Traditional composting takes months because piles spend most of their time in suboptimal conditions, struggling with poor aeration, incorrect moisture, or imbalanced materials. Even with perfect technique, occasionally things don't go as planned. Recognizing and correcting problems quickly prevents small issues from becoming major setbacks. If your pile isn't heating up within 48 hours, you likely have too much carbon material or insufficient moisture. Add nitrogen-rich materials like coffee grounds or fresh grass clippings, moisten thoroughly, and gently fork the materials together without turning the entire pile. Persistent odors, despite following the method, usually indicate poor initial mixing or anaerobic pockets. Prevention is easier than correction here. If odors develop, create air channels by pushing a broom handle into the pile in several places, then wiggle it to create permanent air spaces. Piles that dry out completely require careful rehydration. Don't just dump water on top, it will run off without penetrating. Instead, use a pitchfork to create small wells throughout the pile. Add water to these wells, then gently close them. This ensures moisture reaches all areas. Once you master this technique, numerous variations become possible. Kitchen scrap composting works beautifully using this method in smaller containers. Urban gardeners have successfully adapted it for balcony composting using modified storage bins with proper drainage and aeration holes. The finished compost from this method is exceptionally high quality because the rapid, high-temperature process breaks down materials completely while preserving beneficial microorganisms. It's immediately ready for use as a potting soil amendment, for garden bed preparation, or as a top dressing for established plants. This compost method integrates seamlessly with other sustainable gardening practices. The rapid turnaround means you can process autumn leaves and kitchen scraps into spring garden amendments. The high-quality output reduces or even eliminates the need for purchased soil amendments, creating a truly closed-loop garden system. The difference between reading about this method and actually implementing it is really the difference between knowing about gardening and being a gardener. Your organic waste is valuable garden gold just waiting to be transformed, and every day you delay is fertility lost to the landfill. Start your first pile this weekend. Gather your materials, follow the layering technique precisely, and document your results. Take photos, note temperatures if you're curious, and track the timeline. You'll be amazed at how quickly this becomes second nature. Remember, the best compost system is the one you actually use consistently. This method removes every barrier that stops gardeners from composting regularly: the smell, the work, the uncertainty, and the long wait times. If this article has opened your eyes to the possibilities of truly efficient composting, Make sure you're subscribed to Soil Sage Chronicles for more game-changing gardening techniques. Share this with fellow gardeners who are tired of wrestling with traditional compost methods. They'll thank you when they're harvesting incredible vegetables from soil enriched with their own perfectly finished compost. Together, we're building a community of gardeners who understand that the best solutions are often the simplest ones, executed with knowledge and precision.